my big suggestion to students, particularly through high school, is
you can do anything.
Choose it for you, not for it is worth
it. Just focus on the next step.
Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Don't be afraid.
As long as you're doing something.
That is such good advice.
I don't think I could see myself doing
It's a
anything
challenging life.
Student nights, Wednesday to Saturday.
I worked on that house.
I racked up every single dollar of debt that I
I
possibly
think there's a lot of pressure on high school.
Yeah, I
kids
just
these days,
love working outside.
And if money is something that you care a lot
In
about.
hindsight,
I've also been a very indecisive
But you
person.
keep looking for roads that have been less
It
travelled.
was just that moment that I knew what I wanted to do. So nothing else is going to change that.
Welcome to the guest speaker.
Normally start with some of the research I've done or some of my takeouts from if I know you at school. Now, you disappeared year 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of good. I like to find kids who have maybe made that decision early for whatever reason and hear those decisions in behind. Why did you leave early? It wasn't like school was well, I'm not going to say it wasn't a chore, but you were good at school. But clearly you had a path or a plan or something happened. So I want to get behind that. But just in terms of, and you may clarify some of this for us, but just in terms of what I understand, you're in the Air Force. You are actually called Aircraftman Blackmore.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You go through basic training and then into aircraft technician / engineer is your eventual thing. Under training, you earn about 68K with a potential of 98K. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is important because I don't think a lot of kids realise. I've had a number of kids go into the Defence Force to basically get paid to get a qualification that someone else is paying for themselves.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
there's some real benefits, and I just want to hear from you about that and whether there's a trade-off. But there's about 2,800 personnel involved in the Air Force and a range of jobs. Like when I'm looking through navigation, combat specialist, intelligence, trades, air warfare specialists, electronics, helicopter, carpenter, rescue firefighter. So if kids want to get on and have a look, they might be surprised what they can get into and be paid to do it and develop life skills that you're probably going to talk about. So you move to Woodburn and Blenheim because that's where your basic training takes place. And in that basic training, you learn values, ethos, culture of the Air Force, as well as basic skills. Like you sent me a photo of you with a gun. That should never happen, Briarna. I don't trust you with a weapon, but you're learning those things. And then after your basic training, you then do your specialization, which yours is aircraft technician engineer.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put a shout out because this is a really interesting for kids because there's an application form at the moment on their website called Schools to Skies program, which is for around 36 year 13 girls. It's a wahine project where they can have a week all paid for immersing themselves in what they call the STEM components of education: science, technology, engineering, and maths. So if at the end of this they think, man, this chick's cool and I love what she's saying, they can actually go and apply for next year. So I suppose these would be year 12 kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so lots to talk about. Can I just take you back around? Because like I say, my memory of you was you were doing really well at school. I don't know whether you're enjoying it. That wasn't a conversation we always had. But you then disappeared. I think the last communication I had from you was in July of the year you were in year 13, which was something about a reference. So I gather Yeah. So fill us in on your educational experience leading up to then obviously this I'm out of here situation, because that is really poignant for a lot of kids.
Yeah. So I did really well at school in year 9, which meant that in year 10 I was put in a extension program where I could start level 1 a year early. So I did, I think, maths, geography, and science in year 10 at level 1, which helped me gain quite a lot of credits before my peers, I guess. And then I was able to follow that through into year 11, where I was doing level 2 early, and year 12 as well, where I did level 3 early.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so by the time I'd reached year 13, I was going into the year with about 40 odd credits already. So I didn't really have too many more to get. Well, we had to reach 60 credits for level 3. And I'd kind of stopped enjoying school by that point. Like, it's good to go socialize with everyone, but just all the study, book work, all that, I wasn't really finding it for me. And I was working a lot at that point as well. So I was working after school job at Kebabalicious and weekends at a racing stables as well. And then, yeah, so by the point I was in year 13, I was pretty sick of balancing work, study, social life, all of that.
You'd already started to transition over by the sounds of it. Your life wasn't really all education. You're living an adult life, which is what we're talking about, isn't it? That pathway out. You're already...
Yeah, pretty much. In the summer holidays between year 12 and year 13, I had worked a summer job at Windsor Park Stud, just working with like the breeding program they have there for racehorses. And so I'd kind of decided like school's not really for me. I'm just gonna get my credits and get out of here pretty much. So I was doing pretty much all internal subjects in year 13 just so I could get my credits as early on in the year as I could.
So this was a deliberate plan leading into year 13.
Yeah.
To get, you probably already knew when you started the year.
Yeah. I didn't want to like close any pathways for myself, I guess. So that's why I still wanted to gain level 3, and I made sure that I had university entrance credits as well. So like if I decided to go to uni right now, I could, because I've got all my credits that I need. But yeah, so I did pretty much all internal subjects in year 13 plus extension 4 with yourself, which I loved. That was probably the highlight of my year 13, was helping out the community, doing all that kind of stuff, just get a bit of a break from the classroom, I guess. But yeah, I went to Europe during year 13 last year, and by the time I got back from Europe, I had one more internal to complete and then I could leave. So I finished that, and pretty much, I think it was halfway through May last year, I had completed everything. And the summer job that I'd worked at in the summer holidays, my boss Rachel said that she would have me back full-time from then onwards, so I worked there for the rest of the year.
How is mum and dad dealing with this, Brianna? Because I think this is a difficult thing for mums and dads or parents, caregivers. Yeah. How did that go?
Mum wasn't too impressed that I was wanting to leave school, but I managed to convince her that it was the right thing for me to do. Dad just kind of agreed with mum, as he does, but I'd started applying for the Defence Force in about March last year, I believe. But
why? Mum, where did this come from? I'm really curious, because ironically, I've had more girls. Yeah, and I'm not being sexist, but which it's quite a thing that there are more girls entering, really bright, intelligent, giving up uni, and I'm really interested.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I had so many different ideas for like careers that I wanted to do. Initially, I was like dead set on being a vet. Like, I love animals, love working on the farm, like all of that. I really wanted to be an equine vet, but I guess just as I got further on through school, I just was finding that all the study life wasn't for me. I started looking into like trades around Cambridge. Like, I kind of wanted to be like a plumber or a sparky or something, but I guess I just looked into the Defence Force, and they've got so many like pathways and opportunities through here that, yeah, my parents had initially encouraged my brothers to join, and I guess I was kind of inspired by that.
So you got on a website, you started looking around. Is that your process?
Yeah. I pretty much applied like kind of straight after I thought of it, which probably wasn't my best idea because I changed between so many different careers that I wanted, but no regrets, I guess. And also the idea of like being a girl in like a workspace that everyone kind of thinks is like a male's job was pretty cool. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
What's the ratio there at the moment? Just while you're on that topic, it is male dominated.
Yeah, it's very male dominated. In my like basic training, we graduated with 6 girls and I think about 32 males, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's about this is like a training base, so it's just trainees pretty much here, and I think there's about 15 girls to like 80 odd guys, I believe, something like that.
Great ratio.
Yeah, so it's definitely increasing how many females there are, but
Yeah.
no.
What's the application process like, Briarna, for a kid sitting there already going, "Oh, cool, this what do you do?"
It was a pretty long process. Just the initial application, police check, security, all of that, and then they're very thorough with like your medical history. Like, I'd broken a toe in like year 6 or something, and I had to go get like physio doctor reports about it and all that. Like, every little thing they're very I don't know, serious about.
Coloured, blind, broken stuff, because they're liable when you're in the field if something goes wrong. I imagine they pay a lot of insurance. So even police force is the same, and it's okay.
So yeah, they're very serious about all that. It took quite a while to get through because I had to go to like multiple doctor's appointments, orthodontists, get like reports from everyone. But after that, I did like initial online aptitude testing, which is just like I don't know how to describe it. It's like general knowledge, but like kind of how you work under pressure, like your thinking skills under a time pressure. And then there was just a basic mechanics test as well. And yeah, I passed that pretty well. Like, you get assigned a recruiter, and they're like communicating with you throughout the process. And yeah, she said I did really well on that. And then after that, we had to do a fitness test, which was beep test, push-ups, and sit-ups. They don't do the sit-ups anymore, though, for the testing. But yes, just
what sort of beep test ratio are we looking at?
For a girl, just for the initial fitness testing, the top score I could have gotten was 6 on the beep test. So it's pretty doable. Like, that's the top score, so you can still get lower than that, but obviously you're going to try to get the best score you can.
Okay.
And I think 20 push-ups for the top score, I believe. Obviously it's a bit higher for males, but yeah.
Just before we carry on, Grace, why am I on the main screen the whole time? It's making me...
Wait, you're not on
Doesn't
my...
matter.
So you've changed in the top, the top right, where it says view. Do you see that? You can change.
I can't see.
You're not the main screen for us. You're just the main screen.
As long as I'm not, I don't care.
Well, so I have a question here about the fitness things too. Like, at any point, because you've got to do these fitness tests, but first you do the aptitude, you have to get all the medical stuff. From when you first applied, and I actually know the Defence Force websites are pretty good. Like, compared to any uni, they're really good in terms of path and this. Like, I remember myself having to geese because it's like, oh, there's so many things you can do. But from when you first applied to then you get assigned a recruiter and you're there doing the practical test or physical test, what's the timeline on that?
Oh, I'd have to double check that quickly.
Yeah, no worries.
I've still got emails from them.
Because and as you pull it up, it's like I'm thinking of, it's reminding me of Joe Marsh Ludlam. We had a firefighter and he talks about the testing they did or how long. And basically it's like if you're kind of half-assed interested in this career, some of these pieces of admin might be enough of a reason that you don't do it, right? Like, oh, you're telling me I have to get this checked. It's almost like another little barrier checkpoint to say, do you actually want to do this, or was it just a whim?
Yeah. It's like the hunter's help, isn't it, Grace, that people will see on our website. Like, don't just rock up to uni either, eh? Like, but there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I've just checked. From the time I initially applied in March, I did my fitness test in June, like midway through July, sorry.
Yeah. So a bit of a pretty decent chunk there of a few months. Could you, you might not know this, but like the requirement to apply, is it 18? Or like, could someone in year 13 start applying?
Yep. As long as, because you apply for like a different recruit course, there's 3 recruit courses throughout the year, and as long as you'll be 18 by the time you graduate basic training, you can.
At what point, and then we'll get back into it, the outfit, the cool uniform with your name, like when do you get that? Is that at the end of training? I'm just a fan. If you're looking, she's got Blackmore on a uniform. I like it.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, we get it about a week or 2 into basic training. We have to wear a different coloured patch here so that they know we're recruits. We're not in the Air Force yet. And our name tags are handmade ones, like a white piece of Velcro, and you write your name in Sharpie on it. So
I like
you do out for the crowd a lot, but still cool to get the uniform. Yeah.
So Briarna, you obviously get accepted. You decide, you talk to family, I presume, and you go, I'm going to pull the pin. I'm going to Blenheim.
Yeah.
You pay to get down there, or do they support that? Then do you, what's basic training, I suppose, because now we're there. So just tell me a little bit about getting there or moving and then your basic training.
Yeah. So we had to also do an interview, like a in-person interview before we came, and then another fitness test before I was accepted. I think they accepted me around November or October, like it was pretty late in the year. But Air Force covers, or Defence covers, any travel to do with the job, so they paid for my flights down to Blenheim. I was only allowed to take a suitcase worth of stuff with me into basic training, which is, you don't really need too much because they provide everything for you. So yeah, I got there. It was pretty daunting at first because right off the bat we were like getting yelled at by our instructors for things we were unsure about, like someone stepped on the grass. We didn't know we're not allowed to walk on the grass, but yeah, we all got yelled at for that.
There is this feeling, Briarna, because this is what I wanted to raise, that the Air Force, the Army, there is that common perception you're learning some pretty strong values about behaving, following orders, and if you hadn't stepped on the grass, it would have been because you stepped on a crack on the concrete. They want to make it clear that you can abide, because if you don't, you're a hazard to yourself and others, I presume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no way to be like perfect during basic training. They'll always find something to pick you up on. Yeah, I remember a few times we're just like every night for a week straight we're doing punishments into the dark. It was, yeah, they would honestly like make up things to get us in trouble for, but it was, yeah.
How many people then, like you said, there's like 32 males, 4 females or something in your cohort. How many begin, or at least in your experience, how many start and how many finish?
I think we started with about 40, I think. Some people leave, like one guy left the day he came, like got there, decided it wasn't.
Didn't like the draft machine.
Yeah, just too strict, I'm not sure. But yeah, we do like attestation maybe 3 days after you get there, which is just like, yeah, I'm signing up for the military, like this is where my loyalties are now. So you pretty much have the opportunity to leave up until then, and after that, it's a bit harder of a process. But I think we lost 2 people before we attested, and then throughout the course, we lost 8 people in total over different things. But yeah, they can be pretty strict on who they let in, because obviously it's the military. If worse comes to worse, we're the ones like protecting the country. They don't want to let any old person in.
They're investing in you too, aren't you? Because at the moment you weren't getting paid then. Is that right?
No, we were.
You were. So I mean, they're investing in you. This is our taxpayer. Well, Grace doesn't pay tax, and neither do I.
I do.
Anyway, so how long's basic training? You've gone through. You've been attested. They give you a few days to fall over. You don't. How long is that finished? What?
No, basic training's 12 weeks long.
3 months. Yeah.
Wait, sorry, I'll be 2 seconds. Someone's knocking at my door.
Yeah, all good.
Right. I hope it's an emergency, because this will be great footage.
She's getting called to action.
Yeah, there's a war.
This is how we find out. Were you being called to the front line, or is that just how you want to hang out?
No, that was just my neighbor. She wanted to go to dinner, I think. But
Sure, but that's actually good, because so you said the training's 12 weeks initially, but now, I mean, how long ago was training? And now, like you said, you seem like you're in some sort of like almost like a dormitory, but military dorm thing. Like, talk us through what happens, please, or what's happened to you since the end of training to what you're doing now.
So I graduated April 17th. And then we got about 10 days off, fly home, see the family, everything. And then I got a car, filled it with all my stuff, and drove back to Blenheim. And then, yeah, we're living in like a barrack block at the moment. I'm in an all-girls block. We've all got pretty big rooms, got sink and stuff in our rooms, which is actually very handy. Yeah, so it's a room each, shared showers, shared toilets. But yeah, it's like the most fun I've had living in barracks, because it seems like a pain, but we have monthly like room inspections, and every week we clean all the toilets and all of that, which is like mandatory, which seems like a pain, but honestly I'm very grateful for it, because we're living in like a very clean environment. And like during recruit course we all learned how to, like, I don't know, clean everything like up to standard and all that, so no one's got any excuses to be living in a pigsty, I guess.
You can see why some countries, like I just had a Swedish exchange student before I left, and he was going back for his compulsory military. You can see why some countries actually do it. As a compulsory service, because you learn some wonderful things, don't you? Keeping there's that wicked YouTube clip of the army officer who he talks about just making your bed.
Yes.
And it's just gold, and it's just doing the simple things right, putting pride in the simple things, and it serves you well. So yeah, cool. Are you allowed to interact with the boys? I mean, I joked earlier about the ratio of boys. I mean, so you can get a boyfriend, is that?
Yeah. Just as long as there's no like drama, I guess. But yeah, boys are allowed in our rooms and all that, just as long as they're supposed to be out by 10. But yeah, I don't know. Okay. It's pretty relaxed.
I have a question about the training, because one of my old rowing partners did the training. She's a policewoman. And she talked a lot about, like, they spent quite a while on, I guess is a more technical word, but guns, and like actually how to use them. And I remember being like, whoa, they spent ages. But she said, because in New Zealand, if there's a situation where there has to be guns, you want to be really trained in like how to use them, all of that sort of stuff. But it was kind of a bit intimidating, right? Because especially coming from New Zealand, I'm sure it's different in different countries, but was there a point in that 12 weeks where something was really hard, or you felt not uncomfortable, but it challenged you? Like, did you have any points where you were like, oh, this is quite difficult?
Yeah, definitely. We did do a lot of training. We only got qualified on the rifle during basic training. So we spent a lot of time learning weapons drills, how to clean it, how to shoot, aim, all of that. We did a day at the range firing live rounds. Other than that, we just fired blank rounds during exercises. And yeah, I did find some of that daunting because even though you're only firing blanks, which like can't hurt anyone, just making your rifle make a noise, like you can still the same rules apply as if you were firing live rounds. So like if you accidentally let off a round when you're not supposed to, you can get charged for it. Like yeah, there's lots of different like punishment systems, I guess, because the military has its own set of laws that you've got to follow. So yeah, there's lots of laws around the weapons, which is can be a bit scary. Yeah,
but that's probably, thank goodness. and some what's a day in the life of basic training? When do you just paint a picture of an average day?
Wake up at 5:30, bang on 5:30. One time I got out of bed at 5:28 and we all got in trouble for it. 5:30, you have to shower every morning. And then you make your bed, you iron your sheets, perfect hospital corners. You got to fold your sheet 30 centimeters from the top of the bed. We've got a whole booklet on how our bed space has to be laid out. So, do all that. Make sure you've got no hair, like boys have to shave, girls have to do their buns. We're allowed to wear plaits now, but in basic training, you've got to have your hair in a bun. And then breakfast at 6:30 at the mess, which is like our shared dining hall, I guess. And then you come back, do fatigues in the morning. So we're split into, my recruit course, it was quite small. We're split into 4 groups, and each group had to do one group did toilets, one did showers, one group had to sweep the roads every morning. It was just cleaning, and then your fatigues get inspected, and then your bed space gets inspected. They pick up every speck of dust, every piece of clothing that isn't ironed properly. It was pretty full on. They slowed down a bit on the inspections after the first few weeks, but before it was daily inspections for everything. And if something wasn't up to standard, you'd have to skip out on your lunch or go rush, get lunch, come back and redo your whatever was wrong, re-clean the toilets and then get it inspected again. And then we'd have morning lessons. It could be PT, rifle training, anything. We did quite a lot of theory stuff as well, with survival in the bush, all of that. And then lunch, afternoon lessons, whatever that might be. And then it was pretty much your own time from about 4:30 onwards, or 16:30. But you have to use that time to re-iron all of your uniform. I never thought I'd get so good at ironing. But you spent hours and hours ironing. Every crease gets picked up, everything. So re-iron your uniform, polish your boots every day. There's always something to do, or if we get in trouble, write your essay for the next day that you have to hand in. So you're always kept busy. And lights in bed by 9 o'clock, lights out by 9:30.
By then you're buggered anyway, so you're quite happy to go to bed.
Yeah, we slept good. But during basic training, it's more of a shared living situation. No one has their own rooms as such, but you've got a wall in between you. But it's not a full wall, it's just a half wall, so you can still hear each other and everything. But it was honestly
you're doing a really good job of being honest and not sugarcoating what it's like. I mean, you're not getting beaten to death, or there's nothing. It sounds like you're really well cared for, because that was going to be one of my questions. If I'm a dad and a daughter went, I'd be wanting to know, is she cared for? I can see care, but I can set some strong expectations. But I think you're doing a good job of, putting the right kids to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's like obviously there's some people who come and then just leave straight away, like decide it's not for them. But they do risk management for everything. Like they used to do this thing where you would have to go to the beach, do push-ups while the waves are going over you and all that, but they don't do that anymore because it was like too dangerous. Like they still push you hard, but then you're not at any risk at all, or like always cared for.
And so you get to your 12 and you've passed.
Yeah.
What do you get? A certificate, a hug? What happens there? And then what's happened since with you?
Yeah, so we all got a certificate. Some people got there's 5 awards they give out, which is like top PT, top ground defense. Like there's a few different awards.
Did you get one?
No, they they chose me to write an article about Hoover, which I thought was a really good idea at the time. But they wrote an article about me, and then everyone found out about it. Yeah. They decided to put it on New Zealand Herald as well, and I had people I didn't even know coming up to me on base. Oh, you're the girl they wrote the article about, and I was like, oh no, this is quite embarrassing. But
you're the girl on the podcast.
Yep. But nah, it's cool. Yeah, so we had our week off, then we came back. And at the moment, all of the tech trades have to do this basic course. So there's my trade, there's avionics. Oh, I'm aircraft tech, by the way. Avionics, SNS, who's like the people who work on the outside of the airplane, like painting it. They pack parachutes and all that. Armourers, welders, there's quite a few trades. They all have to do this basic course, which is 16 weeks long. At the moment in our course, we've just been learning, we've been stripping engines, putting them back together, just learning safety procedures within the workshop.
How did you select this, Briarna? Because what I can't picture you sitting there at 16, 17 going, I'm going to pull engines to bits, or am I wrong? Like, where did that come from?
I don't really know. I was always interested in like some kind of trade.
When did you choose it? Before you went, or now that you're there?
Before I went. It wasn't initially. I had applied for pilot, which is not very doable as like someone fresh out of high school, no training whatsoever. But yeah, I had a good chat with my recruiter about it, and she thought it was like a good trade for me, and definitely no regrets. Because it's also, there's a few trades that you can't carry your qualifications out of the Air Force with, but with this one, there's always aircrafts that need fixing, whether or not you're in the Air Force. So I can like carry these skills out if I ever want to leave defence.
So ultimately, you could be fixing Air New Zealand's planes. Like you could be anywhere in the world fixing planes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a good trade to, like, I don't know, carry on throughout my career if I want to.
And how long does it take until you're qualified as a aircraft engineer technician? How long?
So after I finish my 16-week course, which is in August, I have to do a 38-week course where we learn all of our actual aircraft stuff. And then after that course, I'll get posted out to either Ohakia or Whenuapai, which is we haven't decided which base we're going to yet, but that will come in the future, I guess. And then I'll do a year to 18 months of actually working on the aircrafts there, and then I'll come back to Woodburn for another 6 weeks, and after that I'm fully qualified. So it's quite a long process, but you definitely, like, they give you all of the opportunities to learn the skills you need.
And you're earning $68,000 every year.
Yeah, it's awesome. Heaps of benefits in the Air Force. Yeah.
Well, it's wicked too, but then this is a bit dark. But like, you're doing this study and you're training, you're qualifying. If, and touch wood not, but if New Zealand gets called to action are you plucked out and have to go somewhere? Like, what does that look like?
It kind of depends on the severity of the situation. They'll call on the army first because they're like, they've got all their weapons training and all that. We've got our rifle, but
yeah,
not as useful as the army, I guess, in that situation. But yeah, we definitely could be called on if need be. Like, this is a complete different situation, but there's been a lot of flooding in Nelson recently, and we've been called out for the last 3 weeks in a row to go help out with the community there. So like I'm an aircraft technician, but in the end I'm always in the military. I have to help out with what I need to help out with.
So there's a Christchurch earthquake, Kaikoura earthquake. There could be something in the Pacific, and you could be asked to go because we need planes, we need your skill set. Yeah.
And technically I'm legally required to go, so I do have to do that. But I guess that's what comes with the job. And part of our paycheck is military factor, which is like takes into account any of this work we might be doing that's not our trade. So and we get paid extra as well for days that we aren't on base. Like I've been getting extra pay for the time I've been helping out in Nelson and all that. Yeah.
When you said earlier, Ben, some of the benefits, is that like do you get health insurance? Or is it just benefits of training? What?
Well, obviously the best benefit is we're pretty much getting paid to go to uni. We get free medical, free dental. All of our food is subsidized. Our accommodation's subsidized. Like it's pretty cheap living down here. And it's awesome. It's awesome, like living at work, I guess. We just wander over every morning. So yeah.
What's your entertainment and your fun like? What do you have to hit Nelson or Blenheim nightclub? Or do you have parties there? Like, because you're a young kid. Let's not mess around. You're still going to have some fun. Where does the fun happen?
We've got a bar on base, which is literally like 50 meters from my room. So, no Uber costs around here, I guess. But yeah, the bars, all the drinks are subsidized as well. So yeah, can get pretty hectic in there sometimes. There's one club in Blenheim, Yard Bar, which is the only place you can really go to, and it's kind of filled with old people most of the time. But yeah, that's like the only place you can go for a good time, I guess.
What do you do on your weekends then? Do you head off down, travel around, or?
Yeah, we've been to Nelson. Like lots of the boys around here have 4-wheel drives, do lots of camping trips and all that. I'm going to Kaikoura this weekend. Yeah, there's always an option, catch the ferry over to Wellington, do something there. Yeah, like Blenheim's not the most exciting place, but there's always stuff around that you can do. And
cool.
Yeah, it's heaps of fun living with like people your own age because there's always someone keen to do something.
Yeah. Oh, well, so what is that age gap like? Like, are there older people who go, or are most of them under 20?
Most are under 20. I'm the youngest at the moment because I turned 18 like a couple days before I did basic training. So yeah, I'm the youngest at the moment, but I think up to 30 is the oldest, I think, of trainees at the moment. I don't interact too much with the others because barracks is just trainees, but yeah, everyone, like, I don't know, there's no like discrimination between the ages. Everyone just gets on with everyone. Yeah.
And so probably last from me, Briarna, before Grace does her things, where are you headed? Where's your future? What are you thinking in terms of your life ahead of you?
Well, hopefully after I finish training here, I'd love to be posted to Ohakia base. And definitely want to be in the Air Force for maybe at least 10 years, 5 to 10 years. Like, I'm loving it at the moment. I don't exactly have a plan for after the Air Force. I'm just seeing how I go during my trade training. I would love to move back to Cambridge at some point. It's my home, and yeah, awesome place to live. Yeah. I don't really have too much of a plan.
Grace is going to ask a very particular question, and maybe some others, but I want to know if there are kids sitting there right now considering, I mean, you're specifically Air Force, this may apply to Navy, Army as well. What can they be doing to help? Well, one, they need to look into it. They need to get onto websites. They need to listen to things like this or find friends and that, because I'd imagine if you'd got to listen to this while you were sitting in my class, this would have been really good for you, because it would have given you some real clarity. And but yeah, is there anything they can be doing, do you believe, subject-wise, in the community like you did, or does it? Yeah, what are you thinking?
Definitely, it would be awesome to have a chat with anyone who is in defence, because you don't really the websites do say some stuff, but you don't really get the full picture. I didn't know anyone in the Defence Force, so I was kind of going in a bit blind, but yeah, so have a chat with someone. There's every region has recruiters that you can just ring up, have a chat with, all of that. Keep your fitness up as much as possible. Fitness is a huge part of being in the Air Force. We have to do annual fitness testing. We have PT 3 times a week, which is mandatory. Yeah, so definitely keep your fitness up. Trying to think what else.
If you're an academic,
not particularly. I think most trades you just need level 2 or level 3. So I don't think they look too much into your results or anything, just as long as you have the NCEA certificate in the end. Yeah, but it's definitely if you're competing against a lot of people, it's definitely better to have those better results or have more work experience. You could have all of the minimums, but in the end, if there's X amount of people going for one trade, then they're going to have to cut some people off. So you want to try be the best out of everyone.
Yeah.
Is there, for the sign-off question, in terms of you've gotten into the trade route, if you don't get what you want, can you try again the next year? How does that look like if you don't at first get admitted?
So you can either apply for a different trade, you have to apply for one trade and then have a backup trade when you apply.
Yeah.
But if you don't get in for the basic training that you're going for, then you can be waitlisted for the next one, and you'll be pretty much guaranteed to get in for the next basic training. Or you can change whatever trade you're going for.
Okay.
But yeah.
What about obviously, well, not obviously, I'm thinking there's this Army, Air Force, Navy. Is there another one, or can you switch if you've started in maybe and in 3 years you go, I like this, but I do want to be more boat based? Could you switch to the Navy? Is that something that people do?
Yep, you can switch, but you'll have to go through the basic training again.
Yeah,
because each branch of defence has a different basic training where you learn different skills, so you can't carry over what you learned in one basic training to the different one. Yeah.
That makes sense.
You interact with any of those other forces, Brianna?
Not really, because I didn't know anyone in the Defence Force before. I haven't really had the opportunity to interact. I've met a couple of people in the Army, but it's pretty much within the Air Force that I interact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have a sign off, but before that, is there anything we've missed or we didn't ask you that we should have? Just a moment to catch all in case we've missed anything.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Sweet. Last sign off is if you could go back, not to generic year 12s or 13s, but specifically you, Briarna, year 12 or 13, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh, I would say definitely like keep going for the good grades, but make sure don't forget about social life, because social life's very important. Like always good to have something planned with your mates or any of that. Like just keep having fun, because it's so easy to like burn out, especially just working and studying, which is pretty much what I was doing. Like, yeah, it's easy to burn out. So yeah, just keep up the fun activities as well, because it actually makes a huge difference in how your studies go as well.
Yeah, that's awesome, Briarna. And look, I just want to put a shout out. Like I said, your honesty's been really important for kids sitting there. I think that we need the right people going, and if someone's contemplating and they see what you've just done. And I also love the fact you were bold enough to leave school when you needed to for yourself. What, you know, when Grace and I sit back and we talk about people who are doing bold things, some kids stay and become an absolute nuisance. You know, they're there for the ball or for the first 15 rugby, and the teachers, I would see the other side with teachers just pulling their hair out going, this kid isn't doing assessments, isn't turning up to class, is misbehaving and ruining other kids' education. And I'm not saying that was going to be you, but I just think sometimes there is, if we can get our plans in place and we can get, you know, something in our sights to motivate us, like obviously yours was initially work, but then going into the forces, I think it's wicked. And just, best of luck with everything you're doing. I think it's wicked, and you're definitely not, I'm not going to say not letting yourself down. You're really making the most of that ability you have, which is cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I think that's it.
Thank you. We look forward to maybe once you're done with your next, year and a half, 2 years of training and the air, like to be an aircraft tech, get you back and see what the day in the life looks like then. But thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, we'll do.